You're worried about losing your job, and you're worried about podcasts taking over, and who's the source of news. And we said Donald Trump was Hitler, but half the country disagreed with us, and he won. And this is and Joe Rogan believes in dragons.
Imagine this: Joe Rogan minding his own primal business, maybe tossing back an elk meat smoothie or mid kettlebell swing, when the View crosses the line one too many times. Now, he's firing back with a $100 million defamation lawsuit so big it practically begs for cage fight commentary. Whoopi's probably rethinking every rant, Sonny's contour is sweating bullets, and Joy, well, she's staring blankly like someone hit pause on her brain. Is this a courtroom showdown or the most chaotic crossover since reality TV crashed into politics? Rewind for a second. Picture Rogan deep in the jungle on an ayahuasca trip, decoding the secrets of the universe. He pauses, eyes sharp. One word: enough. After years of being the internet's MMA guru and verbal punching bag for the View's drama crew, Joe finally said what half the country's been wanting to yell back. Want a more serious tone or keep it spicy and sarcastic?
That's why people like our show, because they know that we are checked by ABC News. But
we're checked by everybody.
Yeah, I mean, if we're wrong, we have, the legal note here.
Hey, this is the most important part. This is right after she was saying, we are run by ABC News. You should trust us, not Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons.
This circus has gone on long enough. Joe Rogan's been labeled everything short of a Bond villain by a panel of self-important media elites who treat gossip like gospel. But now, the man who treats reality like a sparring partner is heading to court, with no gloves and no filter. Enter The View, also known as the Daily Brunch Club, where 5 media divas sip ego-laced lattes and act like glancing at a headline makes them experts in constitutional law. It's a table full of unchecked opinions, louder than logic, and somehow messier than a reunion episode of The Real Housewives. 5 hosts, 1 table, 0 facts, and enough smug energy to power a Tesla factory. In their infinite wisdom, or complete lack thereof, they decided it was brilliant to take aim at Joe Rogan, accusing him of just about everything except starting the apocalypse. They dragged his name through the dirt like it was a trial run for defamation hour, tossing accusations around like confetti at a scandal parade. Here's the kicker: Joe didn't even engage, didn't appear on the show, didn't throw a tweet, didn't send a care package of elk jerky. Nothing. But somehow, he ended up the main course on their buffet of bad takes. Joy Behar rolled her eyes with enough force to trigger a seismic event, while Whoopi laid down one of her trademark holier-than-thou sermons, like she hasn't rewritten her own history mid-episode. So, what did Rogan do? He did what most people wish they could do when the TV talkers won't shut up. He lawyered up.
Is that show has this very specific ideological bubble in which they operate in. And they always bring on a token conservative woman, and they yell over her and silence her. And, they did that with Meghan McCain, and they did that with what is that other blonde woman from Survivor? Do you remember her, Jamie? She was always yelling. I mean, it's a bizarre show.
Oh, he snapped. And just like that, Joe Rogan dropped a $100 million lawsuit on The View like a steel chair crashing into a WWE ring. Boom. You read that right. The same guy who once dared people to eat cow guts for a paycheck is now serving lawsuits like they're part of his next extreme survival test. But this time, the challenge is legal warfare, and the prize is his name, his brand, his empire. Let's clear something up. This isn't about bruised feelings or someone roasting Joe's buzz cut or caveman podcast vibe. Rogan's got skin thicker than rawhide, but when you start tossing out accusations that could derail contracts, destroy credibility, and put his multi-million-dollar Spotify throne on shaky ground, that's not banter, that's business sabotage. Saying, "I don't like the guy," is your right. Say it loud, say it often. But when you go on national TV and label him a danger to society while sipping oat milk lattes and playing armchair expert like you're solving global crises before noon, that's not journalism, that's negligence. And here's the reality check. Just because it's daytime TV doesn't mean you get a hall pass to throw wild claims with no blowback. ABC airtime isn't a legal shield. You don't get to dish slander with a grin and expect the fallout to stay off camera. Turns out Joe was listening, and now he's responding the only way that gets taken seriously: in court. Want to follow up with a closing zinger?
Joe Rogan here. Did you see Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons, I guess? According to Joy Behar, he changed his X profile. Did you see this?
That. I did see that.
It now just simply says dragon believer. He had talked about dragons on the show. It's, you know, the thing of it is, you take anything out of context and you can make fun of it and mock it. And so, you know, let's do that. It goes without saying, Joe Rogan, how many times more intelligent do you think Joe Rogan is than Joy Behar?
And now reality's kicking down the door because Joe Rogan isn't just some guy with a mic. He's a full-blown media empire with a $200 million arsenal and a black belt in calling out BS. And guess what? He's officially done playing nice. This lawsuit, it's not a cute PR move or a headline grab. His legal team didn't show up with scented letters and hopeful vibes. They came in like a legal SWAT unit, armed with receipts, video evidence, transcripts, and side-by-side breakdowns that make the View's commentary look less like opinion and more like fiction on fire. Let's talk about that magic word. Facts. Something that seems to have taken an extended vacation from daytime television. So what exactly did they say that crossed the legal line? Just your typical oops defamation. Because when you go on national TV and accuse a guy with one of the world's biggest platforms of willfully spreading misinformation, you better show up with hard evidence, not brunch energy. But The View didn't bring proof. They brought volume, a scattershot of hot takes with all the stability of a Jenga tower in a wind tunnel. And let's be real, this isn't about Rogan getting his feelings hurt. This is about business. When you throw his name into the blender of chaos and hit puree live on air, the ripple effect hits where it hurts, the bottom line. Spotify might love a little controversy, but not when it starts smelling like liability. Joe's legal team laid it out crystal clear. This wasn't just loose talk. It was brand arson, reckless, damaging, and fully actionable. And now, they want accountability.
People want us divided, and they aren't just here in this country. They're foreign adversaries who are infiltrating our social media because it is prudent for us to stay that way. So when you see something that really pisses you off, you should triple check that one.
Yeah. Really, really bad information that's going out there.
Well, in defense, there are some really good news.
It's possible that Donald Trump did roam the earth when dinosaurs were here.
There are some really good news kind of influencer types, and I think it's great that they're getting information about global and current events in front of younger people who maybe don't tune into traditional media. But to Sarah's point, there has to be some fact-checking and actually verification.
And how did the hosts respond, with the kind of dramatic confusion you'd expect from a soap opera audition? Joy Behar looked like someone told her the wine club was canceled indefinitely. Sunny Hostin dove headfirst into courtroom lingo like she skimmed a law textbook during a lunch break, and Whoopi, ever the oracle of contradictions, dropped the timeless classic. Well, it's just our opinion, like that's some kind of legal invisibility cloak. But here's the reality check. Once your opinion is broadcast to millions, it stops being coffee table chatter and starts becoming influence, with real-world consequences. And if there's no evidence to back it up, that's not freedom of speech. It's a legal time bomb. Rogan didn't just walk in with feelings hurt, he walked in with proof. This wasn't thoughtful critique. It was, let's label him dangerous, milk the applause, and pretend lawsuits are for other people energy. Bold, just not smart. Now here's the twist. Rogan clapped back the only way he knows how, straight through the mic on the most watched, most listened to podcast on the planet. That's like trying to throw shade at the sun and getting vaporized mid-sentence. His response hit every gym, sauna, truck cab, and tinfoil-lined Reddit thread from here to the stratosphere. And Joe, he didn't just respond, he dismantled. Step by step, take by take, he shredded their claims with precision and that signature Rogan smirk, the one that basically says, I bench press more truth in a single podcast than you churn out in a whole season.
Do you see what Whoopi Goldberg said?
What'd she say?
Whoopi Goldberg said that Biden could arrest all the Republicans and put them in jail. You just need to see how unhinged this kind of thinking is. Well, you know what Joe Biden could do? Joe Biden, you have to see it because it's so
on TV,
crazy.
she said
on television.
You know, just let's look at a scenario where the Supreme Court says, yes, he has all those rights. He is immune from everything.
Yeah.
You know what Joe Biden could do since he is presently president?
What?
Whoa. He could throw every Republican in jail.
And the fans? They exploded. Reddit lit up with threads longer than legal depositions, each one dissecting the drama like digital watchdogs in a caffeine-fueled frenzy. YouTube comments turned into impromptu think tanks, spitting out more citations than half the legacy press. And Twitter? A full-blown coliseum. Team Rogan came armed with memes sharper than legal briefs, while The View's defenders fumbled for a way to walk back the fallout they clearly didn't see coming. But this isn't just Joe versus daytime TV drama. This is a gut check for media responsibility. For years, shows like The View have flirted with the facts, tossing out accusations under the soft glow of light entertainment. They mock, they moralize, they play courtroom without the court, and the moment someone pushes back, it's all, "We're just chatting over coffee, don't take it so seriously." But let's be real, there is harm when you name drop and smear real reputations in front of millions. That old, "we're just talk show hosts" defense? It collapses faster than a reality star marriage under pressure. This $100 million lawsuit? It's not just payback, it's a warning shot. A blaring siren saying the age of consequence-free commentary might be coming to a screeching halt. The days of slinging half-baked narratives and expecting silence in return? They're numbered. Because when your target has more reach than most TV networks combined, that silence you're banking on might just hit back, and louder than ever.
I mean, I agree that Joe Rogan is a horror. I
mean, I'm not saying that Joe Rogan should be removed from Spotify. He's got 11 million listeners. He's got a $100 million, contract as of 2020. But I do think as the podcast platform, you have to have some sort of guidelines. How about a disclaimer on his podcast that says, this is misinformation?
Let's not forget, The View has a track record of hot takes so off-base they practically orbit another planet. This is the same show that once, in all seriousness, debated whether the Earth is flat. A place where brunch banter routinely drifts into historical revisionism like it's just another side dish. And now, they're stunned, shocked, that someone with both the fury and the receipts finally decided to hit back. Meanwhile, Rogan, he's over on his podcast, sipping mushroom tea like it's just another laid-back Saturday, dismantling their arguments with the calm precision of a black belt grading beginners. No yelling, no sweat, just pure, unbothered efficiency. Because nothing shakes TV hosts faster than someone who can out-talk, out-think, and outplay them, all while smirking like he's already 10 moves ahead. That smirk, lethal, the timing, impeccable. Just when The View thought they were coasting on some wave of political righteousness, boom, a legal tsunami comes crashing in and wipes the whole beach clean. They thought they were racking up applause points. Instead, they looked up mid-episode and realized they were in a legal cage match with a guy who literally trains for cage matches. This isn't a petty media spat. This is the main event. And the crowd. They're not clapping. They're reaching for the popcorn.
Arguably, like, the fans, the real fans of The View that are like, oh, these ladies are on point. Most of those people can't leave the house. Like, they're probably immobile.
Right. Because their mom's taking their kids to school, and that's, yeah.
It's a very strange show, but it's fun to watch. It's just fun to watch them.
It's good entertainment.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
There's something almost poetic about the irony here. The same panel that spends their mornings demanding accountability from every public figure with a pulse suddenly retreating behind the paper-thin defense of, "We were just talking." Oh, really? Like they've never heard the phrase defamation lawsuit before. Surprise. It's not just real. It just made Joe Rogan's playlist. Then, boom. Silence. That eerie, deafening kind of silence that sucks the air out of a room. The second news hit that Rogan had fired off a $100 million legal warhead straight at The View's Manhattan studio. Everything stopped. Joy Behar went quiet, like someone yanked the mic and hit a factory reset. No snark, no eye roll, just stunned silence. ABC, naturally, did what all corporate titans do when they accidentally juggle a legal grenade. They called in the suits. And not just any suits. Disney's legal machine hit red alert, racing into emergency meetings and likely asking the same question half the internet was thinking. Did we seriously just say something that might cost us the GDP of a small country? Then came the obligatory corporate statement, polished, bland, and utterly hollow. We are aware of the matter and are currently reviewing our legal options. Translation: please don't let this go to trial. Because the real drama? It's not in the segment that aired, it's in the fallout they never imagined would hit. And now, it's no longer a daytime debate. It's primetime consequences.
Well, it is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching and hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean, it is a rabies-infested hen house.
and at the same time, it seemed like the most interesting part was their audience seemed to be on my side.
Yes.
And that's their audience.
Yes. Well, their audience is not really their audience. Their audience is a group of people they bring in to watch television shows.
Behind the studio doors, it was anything but calm. The atmosphere inside ABC was a chaotic mix of Real Housewives drama and a corporate compliance meeting spiraling out of control. Whispers flew faster than Whoopi could mumble, allegedly, into her mic. Was a retraction coming? An apology? Maybe a teary-eyed, overproduced sit-down where someone dabs at invisible tears while clutching a live, laugh, love mug and pretending to find inner peace. Nothing official. Yet. But insiders said execs were tossing around the idea of an on-air clarification, which is network speak for, "We're not saying we did anything wrong, but please don't sue us into financial oblivion." Meanwhile, the internet went full gladiator. Rogan's fans transformed Reddit into a digital coliseum, with thread titles like "Joe Rogan versus The View, let the bodies hit the floor." Memes were flying like shurikens. Twitter was a battlefield, Team Rogan dropping receipts and one-liners while The View's defenders scrambled to Google, "Can I get sued for having an opinion?" And the irony? Both camps suddenly waving the free speech flag, just from opposite ends of the arena. One side crying censorship, the other shouting defamation. And that right there is the heart of this entire firestorm. Because this isn't just a spat between a jacked podcasting juggernaut and a table of talk show takes. This is a cultural collision. A legal face-off that's about to define where the line really sits between opinion, influence, and outright character assassination.
I had to read the thing about The View because I just thought it was funny.
What's
That's the only reason why I read that about me.
Dragon lover.
Joy Behar was trying to say that I believe in dragons.
Wait, what is this? I just heard about
it. I checked it. And the lady goes, "Did you double check this?" She goes, "I checked it. He believes in dragons."
Should be like,
"You think they lived
Sasquatch,
alongside of
bitch."
people?"
This isn't just courtroom drama. It's a spotlight on the slippery, popcorn-greased slope between free speech and reckless mic swinging. We're in an age where TV hosts and influencers hold more sway than some lawmakers, and when a nationally televised talk show casually lobs serious accusations like they're swapping brunch gossip, the real question becomes where's the line, and who's drawing it? Just because it's packaged with laughs, applause, and sponsored ad breaks doesn't make it harmless. Joe Rogan's lawsuit, whether you see him as a no-nonsense truth hunter or a walking protein shake with podcast gear, is forcing the culture to ask a real question. Can a talk show call someone dangerous without a shred of proof and skate by without consequence? Because if he even half wins, the ripple effects won't stop at The View. The entire commentary ecosystem could get a wake-up call. YouTubers, TikTok creators, Twitter flamethrowers, suddenly second-guessing those spicy hot takes. Captions start coming with fine print. Allegedly, "Please don't sue me." The game might be about to change, and this time, everyone with a mic should be paying attention.
I think that's a happy medium.
Why doesn't The View have any trans women on it?
Great point. It has a lot of women that look trans, but none of them... It has a lot of second and third takes. After a drink, you'd go, huh? But it doesn't have a ton of,
Why doesn't The View have any trans women on the panel? A fair question, and one that's been oddly dodged. They've got a lineup that might raise a few second glances and spark some, wait, what? Moments after a cocktail or two, but when it comes to actual trans representation, crickets. But let's move past the surface. The real headline here isn't just about casting, it's about consequences. Because the Joe Rogan effect? It's not just legal, it's cultural. He's not filming teary-eyed TikToks or begging for sympathy in the comments section. He's coming back with Spotify millions, courtroom receipts, and the kind of scorched earth podcast takedowns that leave reputations smoking. The message is clear. Come at him with lies, and don't expect a pity party. Expect a lawsuit. And maybe a 3-hour verbal dismantling in 4K. So next time someone on The View gears up with, "You know what Joe Rogan said?" they might take a hard pause, sip that coffee, and say, nothing. Because yes, free speech still exists. But so do lawsuits, legal bills, and attorneys who charge faster than Wi-Fi. And the public. Oh, they're watching this drama like it's the season finale of Scandal, talk show edition. We all love a takedown, especially when it's aimed at folks who thought they were untouchable. Right now, you can bet there are silent panic buttons under those glossy studio tables. Whether they admit it or not, the storm got very real, very fast. Will this actually go to court? Maybe. But let's be honest. Network executives know the score. They understand something their hosts clearly missed. Dragging this into a courtroom only cranks up the volume. The safer move? Settle quietly, stroke a Disney-sized check, and pray the news cycle moves on. But here's the kicker. The damage is already done. They didn't just throw shade at some random guy. They aimed it at a global voice with millions of loyal followers and a mic bigger than most networks. When you take swings at someone whose fans treat Reddit like a courtroom and every podcast like gospel, you better be bulletproof. This entire saga is a loud, flashing reminder that in the era of viral receipts and instant backlash, even the most practiced TV voices need to think before they talk. One slip, one reckless claim, and boom, you're the headline. And Rogan? He's probably somewhere shirtless, sipping bone broth or mushroom tea, watching the chaos unfold like it's just another episode in the content queue. Armed with a mic, a legal squad, and a grin that says, "I told you so." So if you're eating this drama up like it's gourmet popcorn, stay tuned. This ride isn't over yet, and trust me, the next round is coming.